By the chime? All right. All right, it is 7 p.m. and Community Services Commission meeting is called to order. Welcome and great to have you all here tonight. For the audience here tonight, the City of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and business conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices, and please refrain from speaking unless recognized. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. Madam Clerk, will you conduct roll call?
Of course, thank you. At this time, I would like to conduct an oral roll call and request that each member respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Burrow?
Present.
Commissioner Gerber?
Present.
Commissioner Lewis Porche?
Present.
Vice Chair Sally?
Present.
Chair Kayumjian?
Present.
Let the record show all members are present.
Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Lewis Porche, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Thank you. All right. Reordering of and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda?
I would like to add a very brief history of Black History Month to the end of the program. It's very short.
That's not really an item, but you
Oh,
can,
okay.
you're welcome to report it. on
Okay.
yours.
Thank you.
Okay, public comment. Public comment period is open. Members of the public are invited to address the legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once on both on and off agenda items. If you are in attendance, please fill out a public comment card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and subject matter you wish to discuss. If you are participating via Zoom, select the raise icon, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of public comment period. Once recognized, you will be unmuted, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. Are there any public comments received?
I've received none and I don't have anybody on Zoom.
Great. All right, public comment period is closed then. Commissioner statements and reports. Commissioner Burrow, do you have a report, please?
No updates this month.
Right. Commissioner Lewis Porche?
I'm just excited to support the efforts for the multicultural celebration that's coming up on May 18th. Lots of work is being done with Annie and team, so I'm excited to see this exciting first annual come to fruition. There are no other updates that I have to share right now.
Thank you. Commissioner Gerber?
Yes, thank you. For the Teens for Glendora, there was a meeting last month in January on the 25th. Just a little bit about the teen program. They do all have officers as like president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. For instance, the president is Mary Malky, I believe is how you pronounce her name. Jocelyn Rodriguez, vice president. Nathan Marquez is treasurer. Sophia Corey is a secretary. And then they have a member at large, Pearl Hall. So they are treating this as a very legitimate program for these kids to understand what it takes to be leaders beyond just a program. They currently, right now, last meeting, they went over volunteer reward. So for every hour that they volunteer, they get $1 credit towards a trip. So if there's a trip during the course of the year and they've got 20 hours, they'll get $20 towards that trip. If it costs $20, they get to go for free. They currently have $539 saved up in their bank account from fundraising. And some of the things that they do from a fundraising standpoint, like are at the snack, they are been hosting the snack bar for the basketball games over the course of the last, 6 or 7 weeks. And that will come to a close in the next couple of weeks. They will be volunteering at the Easter egg hunt, helping out the community service team, as well as on Earth Day, April 20th. In addition to that, one other thing that they are doing, which I find to be also very rewarding for them, is right next door is the Clearwater Senior Citizens Home that was just recently built. I don't know if anybody's ever had the opportunity to go in. I have not, but I've been told it's actually very, very nice, and they do a great job in there. They're currently not doing anything at the moment, but they plan to resume in the summertime, volunteering their time with the seniors. So again, something that I find very rewarding for the youth to give back, and help out with our seniors. So their next meeting is the 29th of February. And again, I think they're doing a great job. It's just how we can continue to facilitate the word and get more members. So that's my report.
Thank you. Vice Chair Sally?
Yes, thank you. The Sports Council met this week. It's spring's coming around up here, so that means the baseball and softball leagues are starting. Opening day for Lassie League is Friday, March 8th, 6 p.m. at Louis Pompey. Glendora National Little League is going to be the next day, Saturday, March the 9th, 8 a.m. at Sandburg. Glendora American will be having a closing ceremony later in the year at a time to be determined. We'll bring that information when it becomes available. The basketball league's going strong, just a few weeks left. Playoffs have started for some of their divisions now. Youth football registration will open March 1st. GYS soccer, they're starting a pilot program, have a few travel teams for their high school age groups, and they'll be playing this spring. So they're giving that a tryout and see how it goes. So one other thing I wanted to say, our last meeting, Eric Dermeyer came by and was talking about the homeless census. I just wanted to congratulate and thank the team that did that. Eric and Debbie Lopez and Rachel Orris and all the other team members. I'm forgetting, I'm sorry. And all the volunteers from the community that came to play a role in that night. And that exercise will help that population get the needed assistance that they require. So that concludes my remarks.
Great, thank you. And for my remarks, from comments from Trails Council meeting on January 29th. It was a majority of the meeting but the budget talks took majority of the meeting, and they discussed what expenditures they needed to make on purchasing equipment and signs and things like that. And then I'll announce some of the dates for the hikes for winter and spring. February 24th is the next hike, and that's at Big Dalton Canyon Trails. March 30th at South Hills area trails, and April 29th at Little Dalton Canyon and Mystic Trails, and then May 25th at Colby and Colby Dalton Trails. There were further discussions about Earth Day celebrations and the relocation of the venue for this next upcoming event, which is going to be at Finkbeiner Park. And then Glendora Trails Day for the spring is April 6th, and that's going to be at South Hills. Spring South Hills, and then fall is up at Dalton. And that's it for my report. All right. And then now moving on to director and staff liaisons and statements. Recreation and Human Services Director Johnny Gary, please.
Thank you, Chair. First, we have the City of Glendora on our YouTube channel. We're doing a community spotlight for Pompey Park. The rehabilitation project. It's great, the video that is out there. Thanks to Greg Morton, Craig Gill, and Megan Stone for putting that all together. They were out there taking video and that from start to finish. It's a really nice video done for that. Also at Louis Pompey, they were finally starting our saw cutting and starting the dig the holes for the shade structure. So we're moving along there slowly, but moving along. And we met yesterday or 2 days ago with our bike consultants for the bike park in South Hills. So we're moving along there. They're almost done with all the conceptual drawings. And then we'll move into construction drawings and that, and we'll be moving along there. So things are going quick. We're hoping that maybe by July of 25, we would start putting shovels in the ground. That's our hope. That concludes my report.
Right, thank you. Special items, Shining Star, January through June 2024. And to report is Recreation Superintendent Annie Warner.
Good evening. This evening, our shining star isn't able to be here. He's away at college, but works on the weekends now. But the Recreation and Teen Divisions would like to award Cameron Circo our Shining Star Award. Cameron began working for the city in the summer of 2018 as a recreation aide at Dirt Camp. Cameron thrives up at camp. Over the years, he has shown great leadership skills and is always willing to put himself out there for the kids and leading songs and skits. When camp is not in session, Cameron can be seen working almost anywhere and everywhere within our department. He's at the Legion Building for rentals, classes, the teen center at the front counter, locking up the parks and the gyms during basketball season, and working the books at the gyms, and even at City Hall, filling in when needed. Cameron, or also known as Peanut Butter this past winter, is also our go-to elf during the holiday season, fully embracing the role and offering those in attendance a wonderful experience with Santa. Cameron grew up in Glendora, attended Goddard, graduated from Glendora High School, and was attending Citrus, and has recently transferred and living at Cal State Fullerton during the week, and is coming back here on the weekends to work basketball and rentals at the Legion Building. Cameron comes to work with a can-do attitude and is always in a positive and upbeat mood. Our department is very fortunate to have him on our team, and it's our pleasure to present this award to him. So our intention is we're going to let him watch this when he's at work, and we're going to then give him his award.
Right. Well.
So I also wanted just to take this opportunity. This is William Best. Most of you have already met him or know him. He's been in our department for a handful of years as a part-time recreation aide. And then he moved up to Dirt Camp as our day camp director. And he was recently hired at the end of beginning of November, as our full-time recreation coordinator. He's housed at the Legion Building, and he has also attending and spearheading the Trails Committee. So he's attending that on the last Monday of the month. And right now he's getting a lot of experience with the activity guide, working on contract classes, and will be assisting and helping us as we are looking for a new day camp director. That recruitment has closed. He'll help in hiring the next day camp director to run Dirt Camp, and will play an instrumental role in our department. So I just wanted to introduce him formally.
Congratulations.
Is this Simba from Dirt Camp? Oh, okay. We've met before, but in different things, so. Yeah, yes, oh goodness.
What's the title again? Your title now officially?
He has Lindsay McNeil's old position. He filled the vacant role of Lindsay McNeil. She was a recreation coordinator. And then our recreation supervisor position, the recruitment closed, and we're slated to do interviews. Gosh, I think it's March 7th.
Who do you directly report to? To yourself? Just checking.
Great. Well, thank you. Consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless a commissioner has requested it be removed for separate discussion. Does anyone wish to pull or comment on any consent calendar items? Nope. Is there a motion, is there a motion to accept?
I motion to accept.
I second.
Perfect. So I will open up for an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow? You got
Yes.
candy in your mouth.
I dropped my
Commissioner
trash.
Gerber?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis Porche?
Yes.
Vice Chair Sally?
Yes.
Chair Kayumjian?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
New business, selection of summer 2024 activity guide cover. And here to report is Administrative Assistant Megan Stone.
Sorry. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Tonight, I will be presenting to you the picture options for the cover of the Summer Activity Guide. You will see each picture individually and then all three together. Here is picture option A, B, and C. And then here are all three of them together. We would ask that the commission discuss and select the picture for the summer 2024 activity guide cover. This concludes my report.
Who would like to?
Are these all from Kid Palooza?
Yes.
Oh, so they're actually all ours. They're cute. Super cute.
I know, these are great.
I vote A.
I actually liked A too, because I was picturing it with the
With the word.
activity guide
Yep.
wording across the top. I think B's so sweet, but I think it would, like, on top of her hair, not look as cute. The wording.
I wish we could see her face. That in itself is a great picture, plus the background, but I would tend to agree. I think A provides a good
He looks so
semblance.
happy.
Yeah, I agree. The two that I liked were A and C the most. I kind of thought C might look nice because in the sense of just from a layout, would be pointing up to, usually don't you put like the City of Glendora seal or something up in that corner? So, but nevertheless, A is my first choice.
I make a motion for A. Oh, do we actually do that?
Second.
Okay, yeah.
I
Sorry.
second.
All right. So we have a motion made by Commissioner Burrow, seconded by Lewis Porche. I will now open up so you guys can vote and do an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis Porche?
Yes.
Vice Chair Sally?
Yes.
Chair Kayumjian?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 for cover A.
Okay, still new business, moving on to Trails Budget Report and Update. And Recreation Superintendent Annie Warner is here to report.
The next one. Thank you. See, I don't know how to use it. There we go. All right. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. This evening, I'd like to give you an update on the Trails Committee on their budget and update of activities. This past fiscal year, they were reappropriated $27,500. The last couple of years, council has been appropriating that amount for them to spend on trail maintenance and activities. Thus far, they have only spent $973.78, leaving a hefty balance of $26,526.22. At our last Trails meeting, we went in great length at how they were going to use these funds. The $973 have gone to creating new banners for Glendora Avenue, patches from the last fall hike day. This past week, they did submit a invoice for the new spring patches. But they are planning on spending this money by purchasing, new trailhead signs in various locations that need repairs. To complete the Raleigh kiosk on the one side still needs to be completed. purchasing electric chainsaws and weed whackers to help them at community events, and it doesn't take gas and easier to get in and out of. Also, depending on the rainy season, which we've just had a lot of rain, last year they did contract out with Mariposa. And roughly that, I looked at that invoice, was roughly around $7,000 cost to contract out with Mariposa, the city's contractor, to come and do trail maintenance and weed abatement in the hills to help, because obviously when we get a tremendous amount of rain and then the sun comes, it greatly impacts all of those trails. So they kind of want to at least keep a buffer in their budget to see how much rain and what the trails look like prior to summer starting. So that is their goals and how they're planning on spending the money. As Eddie mentioned, they did have a Trails Day this past fall on November 4th. They had approximately 50 participants. They worked on the Meacham and the Coulter Pines trails. And additionally, they were able to make it up to Mystic Canyon Trail, where they were able to work on the steepest parts of that area. The upcoming Trails Day is going to be April 6th at the South Hills Wilderness area. Last year they had a huge turnout for that, and I hope they are anticipating to have another big turnout as well. We also have some upcoming hikes. They host hikes once a month on the last Saturday of the month. And there is a list. It's February 24th, March 30th, April 27th, and May 25th. And I believe those start at 8 a.m. And that completes my report if you have any other questions.
I would like to just jump in and say, again, I still remember that exciting hike that we took, David. And so thank you for that. I recommend anyone who hasn't taken advantage of these trips to do it. It's really nice. I know you said you have a budget. It made me think of t-shirts as swag and or uniform for any of the volunteers or anyone going up there. That might be something that's great marketing and could encourage people to look into, or any other reason.
They do have a good new logo that they've worked on.
Yeah.
They've
They
tweaked
do,
up
they
their
give out
logo.
patches. That's what they make
yeah.
patches and,
T-shirts are king.
yeah.
Or bracelets. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I have a recommendation for a
right.
marketing company if you need one, but that was an idea. And then, or hats, because it's
Hats are
crazy
cool.
out
Yeah.
there. So even maybe one of those nice jackets that
Or
you have
fashion.
on with the logo
Yeah.
on it could be kind of
Yeah.
nice if it's going to be cold for the hikes. That's a great idea. So just putting that out there, and wanted to say it. That's cool. One last thing I thought about was paying staff. I don't know if the budget could be for like volunteers to get a stipend, or we talked about the teens for Glendora. Maybe they can volunteer and get a small stipend towards a future trip or something like that. I don't know if that's
So yeah, so last spring, I do know a large amount of the Teens for Glendora did attend, and their hours were logged. So like he said, they received essentially $1 for every hour towards their trip. We can't monetarily pay them. The contract that they do pay is a company that the city already has an RFP and we're in contract with, Mariposa, and they're coming in with large machinery. So on Trails Days, the extent of the machinery is really a weed whacker, some rakes, some shovels, and it's manual labor. I mean, some people go and don't anticipate that it's real work. And so the work that they are contracting out with Mariposa is backbreaking. Not very many volunteers
Yeah.
would want to do that, or I don't even know if we could compensate them accurately. They do get a nice picnic lunch though afterwards.
They do.
That would be the Rotary.
Yes.
Does a really nice lunch after each Trails Day, and everyone can stay and eat food for free.
I have a question. What about animal control on the trails? Is there any such thing? I know I've been up in certain areas and I've seen rattlesnakes and different types of things
Yeah.
moving around. So do we do anything, or is that just leaving it to nature and we just kind of?
We contracted out our animal control, so we are partnered with the Inland Valley Humane Society. And really, if we're unless there's, I mean, we see like maybe an injured bobcat or something along those lines. To my knowledge, we've never,
No, when we did have the mountain lions, we alerted them. Again, we're in their areas and we tried to then make more noise, that they'll leave. But rattlesnakes, a lot of times even during dirt camp,
Yeah.
they all know where those quote we're seeing and kind of walk around them. The leaders usually have their stick, to try to brush, but yes, we're in that nature. With dogs and stuff through our homeless, which have dogs, we've had some trouble there here and there, but for the most part, that's just part of being out on those trails.
What about putting first aid type stations around some of the trails, just on the happenstance, so somebody slips or twisted an ankle or something of that
I
nature?
would think that we would get those stolen by the homeless up there and they would be gone. I mean, we go through how many dog bags, just having those out there.
Right.
People will take them all just for themselves. So we would feel like everybody would just take all the Band-Aids or whatever we're putting in them just for themselves.
That's,
Our parks department, and we constantly are getting calls that there's never in there, and they're like, I put a box in today and they're gone. You know how all the people carry those little ones? Well, they use those bags to refill theirs. So we see them taking, 10 bags and putting them in their little thing when they're going. And before you know it, we're out all the time.
that's unfortunate that we can't provide something for safety for kids or older adults that potentially could hurt themselves accidentally and not have access to something like that right then and there,
Yeah.
whether it's a Band-Aid or it's a little ice pack or something.
Yeah.
it would be interesting. I know what's coming to mind is kind of that free library.
Right.
You know, I have the free
right.
little
That-
library with the
that's-
posts and people do the books. I don't know if you could put a couple of those and just have some Band-Aids or gauze or something like.
Yeah, I mean, we have our bike station where it has, if you had something, we have a pump and that over by Carly Linder Park. But that's all bolted down and stuff. Otherwise, it just walks.
Yeah.
It walks.
But obviously when people do attend the trails days or the special hikes on Saturday, the Trails Committee has a backpack.
yeah.
They're fully equipped for any of
And we haven't had any
first aid
type of
kits.
incident.
No, and same at Dirt Camp. Our staff is all CPR first aid trained and we have all of our supplies there.
Good. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I was just gonna say, you mentioned something, made me think about a vending machine, John. I don't know how safe it would be like out there, but if there was a vending machine that took like what, electronic payment, Apple Pay or something.
I don't know if, like, we have a
Wi-Fi.
hard time, even with our Coke and Pepsi, for them at parks. We had to cage everything in, because they know of vandalism and that, especially up at the canyons. I think
Not
we
sure
would
if
have.
there'd be Wi-Fi there. So people
It
then
was
would have
just
to
a
have
dream.
cash, like, that's challenging.
You can put in your zip code and then it just pops out. Like it's not
There you
even,
go.
it's for free, so.
I guess it would kind of be similar to what's even downtown Glendora with the rental of the mini golf equipment and stuff like that. You constantly see them out and
Mhm.
Yeah, he
So,
had
it's
one of the
unfortunate,
chess
but-
pieces was stolen once or twice.
Hmm.
And and he's finding out that, yeah, they get stolen. Once you leave something out for a while, who knows who's coming by and taking them.
Well, thank you. I
Thank
just
you.
want to mention one quick thing. If you haven't gone on a hike with with Director Sweeney, you should. It's such a treat, especially the evening hikes in the summer. It was so much fun. And he's such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
Great, thank you.
thanks.
Requesting a motion made and a second.
I second.
All right.
Yes. So we have a motion by Chair Kayumjian, seconded by Commissioner Burrow. I will open up for voting and I'll conduct an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Commissioner Louis Porche,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sally,
Yes.
Chair Kayumjian.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
thank you. All right, fiscal year 23 to 25, 2-year budget goals, February 20, as of February 2024 update. And here to present is Management Analyst Kelsey Fay.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight, I'm bringing you the fiscal year 23 to 25 2-year budget goals update. In June of 2023, City Council adopted the 2-year budget for fiscal years 23-24 and 24-25. Each department sets goals and objectives to complete during the 2-year budget cycle. In the Recreation and Human Services Department, each division sets their own goals. We set our goals and objectives to be in line with the city's strategic plan and from resident feedback that we get. I'm going to highlight a few goals within each division and what our staff is doing to meet them. For the Administration Division, Recreation and Human Services staff continue to build trusting relationships with the community that sustains cohesive communities. Our staff are members of multiple community organizations, including but not limited to Kiwanis, Coordinating Council, Youth Sports Council, California Parks and Recreation Society, and Trails Council. Staff attends meetings, sits on boards, and contributes to these organizations on behalf of the city. Staff work to communicate and expand the number of opportunities that residents and businesses can engage in and give back to the community by partnering with the Community Services Foundation during the holiday season for their annual Stuff the Bus event. Businesses had the opportunity to host a donation box at their site and collect toys for the toy drive. The community also had the opportunity to give back and donate toys at either City Hall or at Walmart during 2 Saturday toy drive events. Staff sets goals to advance on a few projects, including the shade structures at Louis Pompey Memorial Sports Park and the South Hills Bike Park project. We have successfully secured funding for the shade structures, and the project is currently underway. The structure should all be completed in the next couple of months, and the park will officially be open to the public. The city's South Hills Bike Park project was selected as one of the projects to proceed with post-selection federal requirements prior to the projects being forwarded to the National Park Service for review and federal funding approval as part of the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. The total proposed award is $1 million towards the project that's estimated to cost $2 million. Staff attended a workshop with the Office of Grants and Local Services and will be working closely with them to complete the requirements for funding approval. For the Recreation Division, the Jump Fest event was rebranded and is now called Kid Palooza. It's a carnival-style event, and we were able to offer more activities, including a carousel, pony unicorn rides, and a live band, which made the event more attractive. We'll hold this event next year with additional modifications to enhance it further. To meet the goal of offering classes taught by our staff, we will be offering a few classes this summer, such as T-Ball and Active Kids Club. T-Ball has not been run by the city since 2009, and Active Kids Club was a popular class that was created during the pandemic when we could not hold any indoor classes. It featured PE-type games such as Capture the Flag, Steal the Bacon, relay races, hula hoop races, and more. Staff is excited to bring this class back for kids aged 5 to 11. And the recreation staff has been planning a citywide cultural special event called Culture Fest that's planned for Saturday, May 18th. This event will take place on Glendora Ave, just south of Foothill Boulevard. This event will have food vendors as well as performers from different cultures. We expect a great turnout and are excited to host this event for our community. For the Human Services Division, staff had a goal to increase revenue for building rentals. This was furthered by starting to host rentals on Friday nights as well as Saturdays. Staff anticipates that the revenue will exceed the 5% goal. Staff wants to engage more with the senior population by introducing more intimate events for them to attend, and also to have staff attend the group and club meetings. Staff has started to attend various club and group meetings to help facilitate and build closer relationships with them. Staff's also planning to hold more events in the upcoming year for the seniors to be able to get together and socialize more. For the Teen Center Division, staff had a goal to increase Teen Center rental revenue by 5% by reaching out to club sports organizations. Staff has successfully secured ongoing reservations, including a Sunday evening volleyball league. Revenue for teen center rentals surpassed the 5% increase last year and is on track to be similar again this year. The teen center also had a goal to hire and train field attendants to monitor park facilities and field rentals. And we're happy to report that we have hired 4 field attendants that'll be monitoring Louis Pompey Memorial Sports Park and performing daily maintenance on the new artificial turf. Another goal that the teen center had was to partner with Clearwater Living to create programming opportunities. Our Teens for Glendora group have had multiple events with the residents at Clearwater, including crafts, games, and Tech Tuesday, where they've helped seniors learn things about their phones. Clearwater also utilizes the Teen Center gym for active senior games. For the homeless division, one of the goals was to develop a sub-regional homeless housing program. Staff are working with regional partners to identify support services available to community members and monitor the development of new housing opportunities that Glendora clients can access. Staff continues to strengthen partnerships with local nonprofits and hold monthly coordination meetings with Shepherd's Pantry staff to discuss resources and challenges they might be experiencing. Staff are continuing to monitor funding sources for homeless initiatives and have applied for and received multiple grants that have been used to provide emergency shelter during severe weather, as well as assistance with move-in to get people furniture. Overall, between all of the divisions within Recreation and Human Services, there were 32 goals to work towards. 27 are in progress or ongoing, 2 have not been started, and 3 have been completed. We will continue to work on these goals throughout the next fiscal year and then reevaluate to modify or create new goals for the next 2-year budget. And this concludes my report. I'd be happy to take any questions.
In regards to the volleyball league,
Mhm.
or is that for what age group is that for? Is that adults or?
I believe it's an adult league, or
It
That's
is,
do you want to come to the mic?
Yeah.
Sorry.
there's numerous once Glendora Youth Volleyball has kind of disbanded, there's 3 leagues that have kind of picked up in the area. And so they are renting often. A lot of times when Glendora Youth Basketball isn't even in session, they're coming in around 7 o'clock in the evening and doing 7 to 9. And then they're coming in when Glendora Youth Basketball isn't in session, and they're there majority of the Saturdays all day. And sometimes it's multiple clubs or groups. And then on Sundays, they're coming in the morning as well. And then we have adult basketball in the evening, but they're a contract class and have been there. And currently right now we have our Autism Spectrum League, and they're for 3 to 4 hours on Sundays. They do a basketball league. So really it's the volleyball that is our new addition, that there seems to be a great need for them and have a place to play. And our facility can run 2 volleyball courts going north and south. So they seem to like that.
And that's up to middle school?
It's
Or just
elementary school all the way to high school.
Oh, it is, okay.
I'm drawing a blank. I know it's called Glendora Volleyball the Foothills.
East Street?
And then T Street, thank you. And then there's another one that's like a hybrid of T Street, and they're maybe more elite that seem to have come when I'm there at times. Like, they're pretty good volleyball players. But they are reserving it, paying their bills, showing up, and
All
so
right,
that's
thank you.
great. So
Commissioner?
Yeah, I have
Weber?
and I don't know if it's kind of a general question. With the last rains that we had, how do we do with the homelessness? I mean, did we have issues? Did we house a lot of people because of the
We housed, I believe 6 or 8 members at the Glendora Motel during a week when we were raining. And we really go check on them and make sure that, it's mainly our regulars that we have that we watch. And then during the cold spell too, we had housed some of them. So they'll get a week here and a week there.
That's good to know. And then how about our parks? How did they hold up? I mean, we got quite a bit of rain. I don't know with a lot of the new
at
renovation
Finkbeiner,
stuff.
we were not using it. And it really helped the grass and stuff. We had to do some maintenance on our softball fields. We get ruts that will go through. So it's bringing that dirt back in. Pompeii did excellent We had one corner on field one, which dips down a little to where the drain is. And we just had to then brush all the infill back into place. But for the most part, it held up. I mean, we would go down the next day and it would be dry. You could play on it the next day, if not that night, kind of thing. So most all of ours did very, very well. Some of our buildings, we still leak. The teen center has 3 or 4 leaks.
That was my
The
next
LaFetra
question.
Center has
Buckets.
a couple leaks. The Legion building had leaks. So it's just old. Yeah. But so our public works maintenance has done an excellent job of coming out and helping us, and putting mastic on it and stuff. They were working on the LaFetra Center today to get it ready for this weekend's or next week's rain.
And the teen center, are we not doing, or aren't we doing some sort of renovation? I know it inside, but
Yeah,
anything on the
once
external?
basketball is over, we'll probably close for a week where we will paint, put new carpet, paint, and maybe hope our bathrooms, new stalls in our women's and men's. So we're waiting for that April or May to get that work going.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Earth Day planning of.
All right, motion to receive and
Oh,
file.
jeez.
That's okay.
Thank you, sorry. I thought it
Well, we
was
do have a
done.
motion made by Commissioner Gerber. And seconded by Louis Borche. So I'll open up. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Commissioner Louis Borche,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sally,
Yes.
Chair Kuyumjian.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Now moving on to Earth Day, plan of activities, and Recreation and Human Services Director John Aguri is to report.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Next slide, please. Earth Day will be celebrated worldwide on April 22nd. The purpose of Earth Day is to demonstrate the support for environmental protections. This year's event will be held at 2 locations. The original location here at City Hall parking lot and at Finkbeiner Park bandshell area. The event is scheduled to take place on Saturday, April 20th from 9 a.m. to 1. This event is free of charge to the public. Next slide, please. This year's activities include a community bike ride. Registration will begin at 8:30 in the morning at the parking lot on Mountain View and Cullen. The bike ride begins at 9 a.m. City staff will come up with a 4-mile leisure family-friendly ride for about 45 minutes. You can early registration for activity is available by visiting www.cityofglendora.org/register. Next slide, please. All our collections services will take place here at City Hall drive-through. The confidential document shredding, you can shred up to 10 boxes. In that, we'll also be having used motor oil and filter collection, where you can recycle your used motor oil and filters. Our Boy Scout Troop 491 will be offering a shoe drive. So bring your gently used shoes to donate. And then our beverage container recycling, where you can recycle your beverages, fundraiser that will benefit the Community Services Foundation. So again, that will all take place here in this parking lot. And that will be the only services here at City Hall. Next slide, please. All the activities and tours will take place at Finkbeiner Park, bandshell, and surrounding areas. Our kids' activities, our youth will enjoy Athens Trash Truck Bounce House, face painting, and a scavenger hunt. We also have the SoCal Reptile Show that will take place at the Legion Building at 9:30. This is a family-friendly and educational presentation with live reptiles. Next slide, please. Our city booths, community partners, and vendors. Our department will provide information, flyers, and giveaways to all those in attendance. Our community partners join us to educate the public about their services. The community partners include governmental services, nonprofit, and youth organizations, giving us their insight on their organizations. We also have areas of outside vendors to promote their own businesses. And this year, we have 2 food vendors so far, Kona Ice and Hot Dog on a Stick. But we also say if you'd please stop by and see the longtime Trails Committee member Dottie Hilliard and her horse Sarah will be there. Next slide, please. And then we will have numerous shuttles to different locations within the city. You can jump on our new electric bus for the Ego Tours, for fun and informational shuttle tour designed to learn about environmental friendly projects and points of interest in Glendora. Some of the locations include the future Gold Line Station and a great taste and Arboretum Park. The shuttle will leave from Mountain View and Cullen. Next slide, please. We're also offering to Big Dalton Wilderness area. Yours truly will be up there as our rep with the Trails Committee guiding hikes and sharing about the different ecosystems. The shuttle will also leave from Mountain View and Cullen. Next slide, please. This year, we are also having Earth Day workshops. The city is partnering with a new vendor, Glendora Media Creations, to offer new community workshops. The workshops will take place at the Scout Hut. Next slide, please. And this year's theme is Planet versus Plastic. We hope that you will all come out and join us on Saturday, April 20th. This concludes my report, and I am here for questions.
Anyone?
Yeah, ladies first.
No, you go first. I always have to go first.
My question is, obviously, Finkbeiner will be completed with all of the renovations and updates by the time that
We have our fingers and toes crossed at this time. Yes, we do have Easter first. He's making better progress on the tot lot, and then we'll do some curb and sidewalk, and then the last thing is the parking lot. He knows of our dates. So we are hoping that really no more rain if we only are off a couple days, but we seem like we're doing a little better right there.
No, and I like the fact that we're using Finkbeiner as kind of that central hub for those activities. It's just a broader area. It can entice more people to be there, whether they're there for that reason or not, but to enjoy the park and the facilities. Specifically with all the renovations that you guys have done or that we're doing, it will bring people there and make them more aware of what's going on, and hopefully make that more of a central hub. So I'm excited for that opportunity. So yes.
We'll be putting out a mailer to every resident, and we're trying to do our best to say that we are at 2 different locations. So if you're out and about and talking about it, just remind people, because we know that that day will be difficult for some, that they'll show up here thinking we're all here. And then we'll have staff here to tell them also, if they want to, they can go join us over at the park.
Any bus rides from here to there?
No, we're not at
Shuttle
this
service?
time, no.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. I was just wondering, now that the event is at Finkbeiner, it's a little more space. Were there any items in past festivals that we had to maybe reduce in scope due to the smaller size that now we'll be able to expand?
I don't believe so. I think that it breaks us up more, like our vendors will be behind the Scout Hut, about the same area that we have here. And then we're using all the grass around the band shell for our community partners and our city. And then on the other side of the band shell, that's where our kid zone will be. We're hoping to get, it's signage to get people to the Legion building to make sure, and then to the Scout Hut. So we're kind of broken up more. It breaks up our staff a little more to get out there. But I don't think we had anything that we said, oh, we'll bring it back or we'll do differently or add. We don't have to purchase restrooms. That's one thing. We'll have more restrooms on site in different areas. And other than that, we haven't had to add, or we did not add anything this year.
just real quick, in regards to food vendors, do you want more food vendors or do you limit it?
No,
food
we,
trucks
you know,
or-
we've had it, we've struck out in many years with food trucks.
Mhm.
They always we want them to come and provide that service. We really don't charge them. They want to charge us and say, okay, it's a minimum of $1,000 or $1,500. And if we make that, we won't charge you. And we have shied away from that. So it's a weird 9 to 1. It's really short lunch, and kind of after breakfast. So we've always had that difficult. We've had kettle corn. Thank you, Meg. Kettle corn. We've always had we've had lemonade, and he did very well, and then he ghosted us for a couple years, the Big Lemon. So it depends on, with COVID, it hurt us a little bit. So we're working at that, but yes, if somebody would like to come and, and do we always looked for either breakfast burritos or something like that, but it's hard to find that kind of, and we tried to keep the prices, not $15 for a breakfast burrito or what like that.
I will note we are going to have them in the parking lot in between the shade structure and the pickleball and tennis courts. So we do have some wiggle room as far as space there. So if you know anybody, let us know.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you. Is there a motion?
We do have a motion by Commissioner Louis Porcher. Do we have a second?
Second.
No, we do by
I second.
Vice Chair Sally. We'll open up for oral roll call vote and have you vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Commissioner Louis Porcher,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sally,
Yes.
Chair Kuyumjin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner and staff closing comments. Commissioner Burrow, do you have any closing comments?
No, just thank you. The Louis Pompey ribbon cutting was lovely and it's beautiful and I can't wait for kids and adults to start using it and playing it and getting to use that space again. And I think everyone's going to be really happy and everyone should be really proud because it's a huge undertaking, but it looks so nice. It really looks great.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Gerber?
Yeah, again, I agree with you, Mallory. It was very nice. I'm excited to see what's going to go on down at Louis Pompey, as I am with Finkbeiner once all the renovations gets done, as we move into spring. Couple other things. One, I'd like to see if we can invite the board of the Teens for Glendora to come and make a presentation to us to share with what they are doing, who they are, introduce themselves and put themselves in front of us to maybe heighten what they're doing and and recognize them more than anything. I don't know how quickly that can be done, but within the next I mean, they'll be out of school, so I'm just thinking that between now and the end of school, if we could get them to come up, that would be, I would enjoy that. I think it would be good for them. Something on a more personal note, I'm a little disappointed to hear that Glendora American Little League is not having an opening ceremonies. I don't know what is precipitating that other than the fact that maybe they feel that they're behind because of basketball going a little
No, we
further.
heard there was of players that wanted to come in the league that were coming from national, and they're not signing off. And so they got a later start, and then they didn't order their uniforms. So they are a couple weeks behind right now. They're feeling, so they don't feel like they're ready to open.
That's disappointing. I mean, opening ceremonies for Little League has always been the key moment of what the season was about. As being a former president and being a board member for many years. So it's just unfortunate that they came to that conclusion. So just wanted to mention that. And then on a brighter note, and I'm going to say this, I believe everybody other than maybe a few of us here on the panel know about this, but next Thursday evening, Mr. John Aguirre is being recognized by the Boy Scouts as for his many years of service and support for this community. If you guys are not aware, they are open to at the country club. You can purchase tickets to the event for dinner. I believe it's at 5:30 and so forth. So I know I will be there. I'm assuming these guys will be there. John, I know you know about this, so that's why I brought it up. Yeah, no, I knew that, but I didn't know if you guys were aware. But I'm very much excited, and congratulations on being recognized, John. That's a very well bestowed honor to you for all of your time and service. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Louis Porcher.
Well, thank you. Tonight's meeting was informative as it usually is. Lots of great things happening. And I want to say thank you to that. John, congratulations. You ruined the surprise. We were all not going to bring it up, but since you did, yeah. Yeah, you never really know because to be fair, Councilmember Friedendahl and I both attended an event and we saw the recipient and we saw either the recipient or a family member and we were like, yeah, we're so excited for you. And he was like, about what? You were there. And he did not know. Remember that? Yeah. So good job. All right. So yeah, that was bad. All right. Well, I'd like to share a little bit of history about Black history. This is Black History Month. So I just have a short little bit of information to share. This information comes from UC, the University of California. And so Carter G. Woodson, an NAACP leader, educator, and historian, established Black History Week to recognize the central role Blacks played in the development of the nation. The first celebration occurred on February 12, 1926. The second week of February was set aside for the celebration to coincide with the birthdays of abolitionist Frederick Douglass and President Abraham Lincoln. In 1976, the week was expanded to Black History Month. Just a few notable dates to bring up. In 1621, William Tucker is the first Black child known to be born in America. In 1859, Harriet Tubman escaped to Philadelphia, where she helped 300 other enslaved people escape through the Underground Railroad. In 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. In 1924, the Harlem Renaissance began. In 1950, the Ralph Bunche was the first Black person to win a Nobel Peace Prize. An added fact to that is UCLA has an entire center called the Ralph Bunche Center. In 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that racial segregation in public schools violated the 14th Amendment. And so I'll close by saying today we continue our work to live in a place that's inclusive and celebrates the wonderful contributions and diversity of our communities. Let's remember that education is the great equalizer, and to be sure to learn about the various cultures that are in the world that we live in today. So thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Sally.
Thank you. Yeah, just thank you to everyone that presented tonight. I really enjoyed our time together that we did over the winter, where we had all those great events. And it's nice to see that we're starting to talk about all the exciting things that are coming up in the spring. So I'm looking forward to Trail Days and Earth Day and the multicultural event and all these things. So just, ready to enjoy our community once again. So thank you.
Great, thank you. And that's for, yes, and thank you for all the reports this evening to the staff and all the hard work. John, congratulations. And just wanted to mention that this morning, the Buck Dunham Award was presented to Amanda Black, and that was great. Annie, thank you. And she It was a great, she was teaching her art lessons to the kids, and it was just nice to be in that environment and to see her in her element. So, and that's it. Wish everybody a great month and see you next month. And one last report to be made by Director Aguirre, or closing comment.
In closing, we have our new full-time office assistant, Amanda Seashaw. She's been with us since 3 months now. Awesome. Has just hit the ground running. It's a great addition to our team, and that she grew up in Glendora, and so knows our stuff in and out, and is picking it up and doing a great job for us. So we want to Amanda is here tonight, just seeing what we do.
Great, welcome. All right, thank you, and have a great month. With that, 8 o'clock, meeting is adjourned.